Okay, so this is essential sewing machine maintenance. If you find that when you're sewing it skips a stitch and you just can't get things to go right, it's usually a sign that your machine needs cleaning. So this is going to be rather noisy because I'm going to be using the vacuum cleaner, and I apologise in advance in case the dog starts because he doesn't really like the vacuum. So what you do need is your screwdriver so that you can start taking things apart. And I have a bag of tricks here. It wasn't very expensive, but it is very useful. We'll try and find some links so that you can get one. So it has an attachment on one end to go on your vacuum cleaner, and then at the other end you've got different nozzles that you can attach. You've got a circular brush there, straight thin bit, longer round one, and you've got an extension as well, so you can make that a bit longer to get further. So that end just fits on. I've just taken the tube off mine, and I just fit that into there. And then to increase or lower the suction we've got here, so you can either close it half or have it fully open, because of course it's quite strong and you've got delicate parts in your machine. If you haven't got one of these sets, I find that a toothbrush is useful. If you've got a soft paintbrush, if you've got a soft paintbrush with a long handle, you can get into the recesses in your machine. So, of course, from the outside, just able to use a damp cloth to do the machine. So what we're going to do first, I'm going to go and just look at the top half. Now I've got a screw into the side here. Just got a hole there with a screw in, and I'm just going to, oh, excuse my head. Do that. There we go. And that just angles out over the button at the top. Just make sure you don't lose. So make sure your machine's switched off as well. So let's have a look. So that's not too bad. There's bits of dust collecting. So I'm just going to use the brush end. This is where it gets noisy. So every now and again, if you refer to your manual, you'll want to add a drop of oil. I've not long done mine, but just on the moving parts, and use sparingly, because you don't want it to be dripping onto your where you're going to be sewing. Now you can see here, I've lowered the needle. And can you just see there? Oh, there you go. There's some fluff collected around there where the needle goes up and down. So I'm just going to get rid of that. what I'm going to do is just put my cover back on. So the screw's still in there. Just want to make sure that it's all fitted in properly. Just make sure it's fitted under the section that's adjoining to the main machine, and that it's all straight front and back. And then I have to excuse my head again. There we go. Just turn it around slightly to get where the screw is. There we go. So this is one of those jobs where when you're doing it and nobody's watching, it takes about 2 minutes to do, and because doing it on camera, nothing lines up. There we go, that's tightening up. There we go, and I'm just going to just get off a bit of dust up here. Right then, so now we're going to be concentrating on the area under the needle. The other good thing to do is to regularly replace your needle too, especially after a big project, because they get blunted and bent and slightly bent out of shape, so that will affect how your stitches pick up as well. So I'm going to just take my foot off. And because the needle's off, you've got plenty of room to be able to see what you're doing. So we're going to take off our needle plate. So again, using your screwdriver. Now, mine's not as bad as it would be, because as I was finishing the quilt, I just needed to clean out some lint. So what happens here is it collects underneath the needle plate. As you're stitching, your bits of lint and dust comes off your fabric, and where the feet there are going backwards and forwards, it collects and then it builds up, and it stops them from being effective, and it means your fabric can't move along properly, and it starts affecting the way that the needle goes down. So just take that off. I've got my screws there, make sure you don't lose them. Just going to take out a thread. As you can see, there's still some thread dust and that in there. So again, I'm just going to use my machine. So it's a soft brush, so it's not going to do any damage. And you want to use something like the machine or your brush, but you want to be able to pick the dust out and remove it. Things like air guns and that, you can get compressed air in a tin. The trouble with that is it pushes it in, so it gets to places where you can't get it. So this way is a more effective and kinder to machine. So all that's vacuumed, all the bits are out, and I'm just going to replace the needle plate. And then we'll tackle the bit underneath the machine. tend to do it by finger to start with, and then just finish it off with a screwdriver. Right, so this bit now we're going to go underneath. Oh, there we go. Now this looks scary, but if you take the bits out and lay it down as you take them out in order, then you won't be a problem. So we see here we've got these two clips. We're going to push back either side. So, and this bit of the machine comes out. So what I do is lay it face down on the table, so I remember which way it goes in. And then the next bit that comes out is this bit. And I lay that on the table as well. And then that's all the bits out. So what you need now is to get in there and clean all your bits of fluff out in there. So I'm going in where the bobbin goes, pushes back out the way, and you're going right back into the machine. There we go. So notice I did inside where the shuttle goes, and all the way behind as well. So I used the longer extension just to get behind in there. So if you're just using the paintbrush, like, just to wipe around with a damp cloth as well. And again, from time to time, check your manual and oil moving parts as necessary. But again, use sparingly. So with these pieces, I tend to give them a wipe over a bamboo cloth and just wipe them over before they go back in. So with this piece, when it's going back, it sits against, if you see inside, that bit that goes backwards and forwards with the turning of the needle. So you want that to rest in next to it. There we go. Just make sure those clips are back. And then there's this part. So you'll notice there's a little dip in there for that. There's a pointy bit on there, fits in that dip there, and that goes up underneath the needle plate. And make sure you've got these dips on the front where those clips come back and hold it into place. It can be a bit fiddly, but there you go. And then that's all back into place. So now it's all ready. I'm going to just clean out that shuttle as well. Sometimes that picks up the case, picks up bits of fluff as well. So, oh. So that's all clean now. I can put a foot back on, replace the needle, rethread it, and that's all ready for my next project. And I'm also going to give the mat a wash as well. So if you need any help at all, or got any questions, give me a shout and I'll clarify it for you. But hopefully that should help you and show you that cleaning your machine isn't as scary as you might think, and in fact it's something that you ought to do regularly so that you and your machine don't fall out. Most of the problems that you get with a machine is purely down to it either needing a new needle or it being clean. or needs to be cleaned. So if things go wrong, check those first. And this one's due for a service, so we'll see how it goes for now. So I hope that's been useful, and I'll speak soon.